I don't have any gear. I was like, man.
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing out there in the streets? It's your boy M.I. Sizzle. Your boy Big Marty, ma.
What's up? What's up?
We back in the building, man. It's Mike and Marty. Long time no see. You know what I'm saying? We've been out of commission for a little bit, trying to get the new season started up with the THT, trying to get the house back on deck, and of course, got to get these streams rocking for you, man. We know everybody out there waiting, can't wait to hear from their boy Marty Ma. Big Marty, what's going on with you?
I don't know about all that, but it's going all right. You know, just been busy with work and you know, helping y'all a little bit with getting the THC stuff underway and all that. So I'm pretty excited about it. Like, I can't wait for it to start up and see how it goes. I mean, I won't be playing obviously, but I mean, you know, I think it'll be pretty fun.
Come on now.
What do you mean? Come on now.
We know about you, bro. Well, glad to have everybody out there in the stream kicking it with us, man. We will be getting started in about 2 minutes. All right, man. So let the show begin, man. It's your boy Mike and Marty in the building.
Yo,
Breezy, what's going on with you, fam? How you doing? Let me see if I can get this thing.
Switch the camera a little bit. Don't you scoot over? I can scoot over.
That's good word.
Okay.
All right, y'all. How's it been going, man? It's your boy Mike and Marty in the building. Doing big things in the building, man. Glad to have y'all in here.
Always.
What's happening, man? You know I got to rock the Tech and House gear, bro. You know let me get my chest just right so you can see that little Tech and House right up underneath the name. And of course the hat flies them up. Big Marty Marr in the building, no doubt about it. One of the realest you've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? Back with the Jesus locks. You know what I'm saying? Holla at him. Y'all know last time y'all seen Marty, he had a goddamn Caesar rocking. You know, but we back in the building, man. Appreciate y'all coming out to kick it with us today. We got a lot of stuff going on today, man. Trying to install this new kind of setup. You know how it is, man. We try to do all kind of stuff we can do. Who else we got here, man? Breezy, thanks for the follow. Yama Yakusi, man, y'all know I can't pronounce none of this stuff. Thanks for the follow. And K, thanks for the host.
K1. Thank you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. See, he know all about that junk, man. You know what I'm saying? He know about Japanese culture and whatnot. I don't know nothing about none of that. All right, can't tell you nothing about it. All I know is they make fire ass hibachi. Okay, that hibachi is hitting. If nothing else hitting, the hibachi is on point. Mac Panther, Big Mac Bro, what you doing out in the streets, man? Look, you gonna come through for THT, bro? Are you coming through for THT? Because the THT is gonna be where it's at. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be a lot of that going on. WAPs and a lot of goddamn sweating. You know, the Pastor Ducats gonna be in the building.
Well,
exactly. Look, speaking of the THT, man, let's get into it, man.
Let's do it.
You know, for y'all that don't know, man, the THT is coming back stronger than ever. Okay, we got some of the strongest players we've ever had. The competition is very high. All right, number one hadn't changed, but you know, outside of that, everything else has. Let's take a look at our starting lineup for this season, man. You know, it's actually
it's pretty interesting. I think, yeah, like
it is. It's not what you would think it would be.
No.
You know, so let's take a look at it, man. We got the starting lineup. Number one, Mike ATL. Now, listen, I don't know if y'all know about that fool, but
oh boy.
I heard he was one of the best niggas that ever do it. You know what I'm saying? Ever. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't know I don't know much about him. I need to brush up on some of my studies on him, but I heard he's one of the best to ever do this shit. Okay. Then we got Rel at number 2 coming in too. The only person he lost to in the THT finals, the only person he lost to was that Mike ATL fella.
Oh,
you
really?
know, so you got to be on the watch out for him. as well as number 3, Abstract. One of the only white guys in the league, you know what I'm saying? Representing for his people, made it up to number 3. You know what I'm saying? And then we got Big Boy, still in the top 5, rounding it off at number 4, and rounding at number 5, Turk Easy, another new face in the top 5. So, needless to say, that's your top 5. But then you get down here to the black ranks.
Yeah, and there's actually some killers down there.
There are some killers. Look at the names in the black ranks, which makes it so much more awe-inspiring of some of the names that are in the red ranks. Because in the black ranks, we have Poke Chop, Speed Kicks, Mr. 96 ATL, Zach Busa, hailing all the way, hailing all the way from the online community. Akumu Akumu coming all the way from the online community to kick it with your fam down here at the Tekken House Tour, as well as Hands on Sight, Trill Shola, Aaron, Shin QR, Truth 404. Okay?
Yeah.
Hair Won't Grow 404 is in the black ranks. We got Shaolin.
404 era.
Exactly. Shaolin is in the ranks. And rounding that one on off is K-Dash. Now, listen, I don't know if y'all really know about it, but it's actually, a lot of those people fought real hard to get to where they were at.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
I will say this. I was really proud of everybody that made it to the finals last year. It was a lot of scraping, a lot of goddamn clawing your way to the top. You know, I mean, there were over 60 participants last year?
I think something like that.
Over 60 participants. To be one of them top 16, I mean, for some people it's only a dream, okay? And then to make it to the top 5 and get your name solidified, at least for a little while.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like permanent marker.
Permanent marker.
Permanent marker.
Not even the dry erase stuff.
No, that permanent marker, it's sturdy.
Yeah.
But it will rub off. You know, a lot of people don't know about that. Panther, what you talking about your ID for THT? I might like it. What's going on, Nino? What's happening with your fam? Oh, Breezy said he coming through the THT. Okay, that's what I like to see. Listen, we inviting all people, all guests. All right.
Yeah, somebody was playing that man, Mr. 96 earlier, talking about, oh, I'll see you at the Tekken House this weekend. I was like, whoa.
Calling them out.
Calling out that man twice. So I was like, man.
Okay.
That's what's up.
These smacks, brought to you by these snacks. Welch's. My bad. Upside down. We ain't getting paid by them though, so I ain't gonna advertise. But yeah, it's definitely this season is looking to be something new. So we're gonna have a lot of different things that gonna change up the game a little bit. We're gonna try to get more people, more airtime, you know, more opportunities out there. Also, we know the competition is a lot more stiff this year. You know, I might possibly be in first place again, you know, but the people underneath me might be different, you know what I'm saying? Amazing that we got players like Poke Chop that didn't even make it into the red ranks. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Now he's got more people to worry about. He's got Speed Kicks down there. The shark infested waters have returned.
Oh yeah.
They have returned.
Yeah. Those black ranks are crazy.
Yeah, and the black ranks normally are. That's the crazy thing about the black ranks. They normally are just like, you're in it and then you're out of it, like super fast. But there have been some rule changes. Let's take a look at a few of those rule changes, man. Transition that on here. We got the THT rule changes. So where all of the matches before were first to 5 in the green ranks and first to 5 in black ranks, first to 10 in red ranks, we changed it up a little bit. Green ranks will be a best of 3 with 20 points per set.
Yeah, so it's going to be a normal tournament set, and there's going to be less points given. So it will be a little more difficult to get out of green, but you're going to get more experience as if you're playing in tournaments, so you can practice more and everything like that, and you'll get more matches in with people. So overall, I think that change specifically is going to be pretty good for the league.
Indeed. It's given a lot of newcomers an opportunity to try to, build their way up, but also giving them that grinding feeling. Like, man, it used to be I only had to win 2 matches and get out of this thing if I started off. Now I have to win 3 to get out.
Yeah, and it's a normal tournament set, the best out of 3, so you're going to get 1 less match to try to figure out your opponent. So it's going to simulate, more stressful settings as if you were to
Not 1 less. You're going to get 3 less matches.
Oh, that's right. It was best of 5 before.
It used to be a best of 5.
Yeah, so
now you're really sweating down there in the green ranks trying to build. It's going to be like trying to build your rank online.
Yeah, so you get a lot less matches actually.
And then
to try to figure out your opponent.
Yeah, then we got the black ranks, which would be the best of 7 for 50 points. Now, if you're not familiar with what best of means, that means like a 2 out of 3 for green ranks and
4 out of 7.
4 out of 7 for black ranks. And then red rank will be a 1st to 5. What used to be the standard for green and black is now the red rank, which is going to put a little bit more sweat on the red rank players, because now you don't have enough time to try to feel out your opponent and make a comeback.
Yeah, because
now it's a rush.
Those used to be a grind fest to watch, even much less play. Those first to 10s were
tough. I mean, a lot of the times you have to think about it like this. When it comes to the 1st to 10, not everybody's gonna get to play. You do 2 1st to 10s with 2 good players, 4 good players. That might take up 2 hours.
Yeah, that's true.
And we want to give the people the opportunity to see more of their figures, especially stuff like that black rank, man. We want to wait around and watch me beat the brakes off of abstract, for an hour. You know what I mean? When you got people like Poke Chop and Speed Kicks going neck and neck in the black ranks.
Yeah.
You got people like Mr. 96 and Akumu going neck and neck in the black ranks.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it'll work out this way. We'll get to showcase a lot more of the talent that's on the tour, and we'll give you guys a much better show, I think.
Indeed. And on top of that, there's been a revamp of entering into the black ranks. So one of the common complaints that we heard last year was that you'd go into the black rank threshold being 100 points. You go into the black ranks and then you lose 1 match, fly right back out of the black ranks into the green ranks. Okay, it was very difficult last year.
Yeah.
Fortunately I was always in the red, but never in the red. So it worked out very well for me. But when it came to most people, those going from green to black and trying to work their way up, it could be discouraging. You get in the black ranks and people would just hold it so dear, because it'd be like, man, I worked so hard, man. I worked so hard. I worked extra hard to get into the black ranks. I'm not fighting nobody.
Yeah, it was a huge grind, and you had people just stocking points, and they were, dodging challenges and
trying to
things
dodge.
like that.
But this year, when you enter the black rank from the green ranks, specifically, you get a 50-point rank up bonus. So that's every time you cross the point threshold. So that means you get knocked down to green, you start back over with 50 points, and you play your 3 matches, you got 110 points. Oh, now you're in the black ranks. Guess what? We're gonna give you another 50 points. So now you got 160 points in the black rank.
Yeah, so we're giving you an extra opportunity to solidify yourself within the black ranks. So don't waste that opportunity.
Don't waste it. Okay. Now, I know you're saying to yourself, like, this is amazing. Like, where do y'all come up with this stuff? Where else, bro? Right here in the noggin. You know what I'm saying? Comes straight from this Tekken House cap. You too can have that same knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You could bring up your family and your people in your community same way. Purchasing a hat. But nonetheless, I think that this is going to be one of the better things that we've seen thus far come out of the TKN house. I think once it really gets rolling, there's a lot of other special features that we're going to have throughout the season, different competitions that go beyond just the league. But I'm fairly ecstatic about what's going on in the streets. Fairly ecstatic about it. How about yourself, Marty?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's gonna be pretty fun. Like I can't wait to see what happens with it.
All right, Marty, you jumping in?
Probably not, but
come on, Marty. Come on, Marty. You gotta jump in it, Marty. Come on, man.
Yeah, you already know I don't really play Tekken anymore.
You play late up.
So I also play Jin.
Yeah, you play Jin and Lane, two cheating ass niggas, man.
Oh, okay.
Come on, man. Matt Panther needs you, bro.
I don't know. I'll think about it.
That's good enough. That's good enough.
I'll think about it.
That's good enough, man. Listen, appreciate. Don't do that, man. Don't do it, dog. I seen you right on the screen, dog. Seen you right on the screen, dog. But listen, it's definitely going to be a great time out here at the THT. Man, I'm telling you, if y'all missed out last year, don't miss out this year. Tell your friends about it, man. The THT finals, while the audio was messed up, it was wild, okay? The times was wild. You know, people was doing all kind of crazy stuff. Oh, not to mention, guess who we got?
Who's up?
Sims is the gatekeeper.
Oh, man.
That's
Sims
right.
going to be cheating people at the gate.
Big Sims. What's going on with your Ace Superior? When I'm going to use Armor King, bro, whenever they give Armor King moves to King, then I'll be using them, okay? What's going on, Korean Panda? What's happening,
Yo, what's going on, Korean Panda?
Yo, man.
You know me, man. I've been part of Tekken House since Tekken 6. So I've been around for a while.
OG status.
Yep.
OG original, you know what I'm saying? Look at them arms in the back, bro. Carl Weathers.
Yeah, Carl Weathers and Arnold.
Yeah. They need a little bit more shading on one of them arms, but you know, it is what it is. Listen, speaking of arms and the way they are perceived, you know what I'm saying, the difference in color.
Okay.
Let's talk about some other things being perceived a little bit differently than we might expect them to be. You know what I'm saying? I know you had something you was talking about. You wanted to bring up about Cardi B situation.
Yeah, I know it's the first episode back, y'all. I don't want to get too preachy about the stuff, that I want to talk about, but this Cardi B situation is
preach
absolutely crazy. I play Tekken since 6. Korean Panda. I play a lot of fighting games, and I've done well in tournaments and stuff at majors for a lot of fighting games. So yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. He got 17th at one final round, right?
Yeah. I got I ended up getting 17th. I got knocked in the losers by you. That was extremely frustrating. But
it's alright, bro.
But that happened, and then
losers by me, dog.
Then I beat a lot of people in losers. Then I played against a Zafino player that I had no idea what to do because I had never played against that character before, and it was awful.
Bro, nobody likes Zafina anyway. That's why she didn't make a comeback, bro. Nobody's got time for no damn Zafina, brother.
I actually thought she was kind of a cool character, but moving on and moving back to what we were talking about.
That's why she tore your ass up.
What? Because I think she's a cool character?
Yeah.
That's why she beat me?
Yo, what's going on, Miss Hot Kick?
Hot Kick, what's up? So going back to what I want to talk about with the Cardi B situation, it makes me pretty uncomfortable because there are a lot of people that are excusing what she admitted to. And I don't like that because I'm all for the Me Too movement. Like we should be listening to people who say that they survive sexual assaults and things like that. And I really feel that way. But this same movement is kind of they're kind of excusing the fact that she's admitted to drugging people, raping people, robbing them. And stuff because she was like, well, I did what I had to do to survive as a stripper.
I drug plenty of people, you know what I'm saying? Drug them through the mud, tore their ass up.
So, and that really bothers me, especially in comparison to when we talk about different people like Bill Cosby and stuff like that. Now, so far as Cosby's case goes, there was no real proof that he did what he did. Only the fact that he owned the drugs, which I mean, if you're going to be honest, you're not going to really own Quaaludes unless you're going to drug people. That's really the only reason you're going to have
back spasms, bro.
Back spasms, yeah. And so, like, you know, it's one of those things where, yeah, he probably did it, and I kind of feel that, you know, he might have been guilty, but at the same time, you can't really prove it, especially on a sexual assault or rape that is decades and decades old, which is the main reason why law enforcement officers tell people who are victims of sexual assault to go and immediately report.
Yeah.
And
let me wipe that pussy up and see what's going on.
Yeah, exactly, because you go take a shower and all that stuff, you wash away evidence, and it's almost impossible to prove unless you have some kind of witness that this actually happened.
That much is true.
So now we've got somebody that admitted that they did this.
Fuck you in the ass.
Oh yeah, because you got like
because your shit gonna be stretched out.
There's like anal fissures and things like that. So
you ever seen what's the name of that movie? I think In Too Deep.
In Too Deep. Oh, the one with Omar Epps and like
LL Cool J got that thing. Was it LL? No, it wasn't him that got the pool stick stuck up there. That shit was bad niggas, bro.
It was like Pulp Fiction also happened to Ving Rhames.
Oh, yeah. Man, that was a bad day for your boy Ving, boy.
Yeah,
real bad day.
But yeah, so it's like almost impossible to prove that stuff. So you know, now we've got somebody admitting that they did this stuff. Like they're admitting that like this is what I did, and a lot of people, like, you know, the Me Too movement, particularly women, are really staying silent about the whole thing, and to me, that only kind of hurts the credibility and the increased dialogue that we have managed to gain from, you know, constantly treating sexual assault victims and women like trash, which is what we've done for like, you know, for decades past. And so now we finally gotten to a point where like we're starting to listen to these people, we're starting to believe them and everything as a society, and then something like this happens, and then women are like, well, I mean, men do this kind of thing all the time. It's just like, yeah, but that doesn't make it right, and it doesn't make it right that she did it.
I done heard some of the worst ones. Like,
oh yeah,
I heard some of the worst ones. It's like, well, she just did it because she had to do it. He wanted to take her upstairs. He just wanted to fuck. Like,
but that doesn't even. Okay, so that justifies her being like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna just drug this guy and rob him.
Hey man, listen,
rape him instead.
I'm not on that side of the aisle, brother. Listen, all I can tell you is some of them is out there making them defenses, bro, and
yeah,
it's despicable. Okay.
Yeah.
There was something I heard about, like she would drug the niggas and then have a tranny come in there and wake up with them, like be taking pictures with them and all kind of shit.
What?
Because they made her mad. Hey, listen, babe. I know you probably watching out there. You know what I'm saying? Things get real out here in the streets. You know what I'm saying? We have an argument.
Oh my God.
You drink. You feed me the drink. You know what I'm saying? You give me the sippy sip. And I wake up and my ass hurt. It's gonna be problems. Okay? Problems. Okay? Problems. Okay? P-R-O-B limbs. Okay? Just letting you know what's going on in the streets. Letting you know what's going on out here, man. Waking up with goddamn hurting ass cheeks, man. And people's condoning it, dog. I bet it was funny. Nigga been acting up. Twitter's the worst place ever.
I mean, social media in general, but yeah, especially Twitter. Twitter is real bad. Like, and you know, just thinking about that, you know, that subject with her, you know, kind of draws other double standards, if you will, about like certain things in society. I actually had an argument with somebody today on social media while I was at work, and you know, this guy was like, oh, you know, of course it was a white guy. Not to say that all white people act like this, but you know, usually when I'm talking about subjects like this, it's usually a white person that says something like this. But it's, you know, he was like, oh well, you know, in all the years that I've lived wherever I lived, I think he lives in like Arizona or something like that. He's just like, you know, I've had various, you know, worked at various companies where like, you know, people of all races work together and also blah blah blah, and there's no kind of institutionalized racism or double standards that people have to live by. That's just like, you know, some kind of thing that's being dragged on, some kind of narrative is being dragged on. And I was like, that's ridiculous. Like
most definitely is. Most definitely is.
Yeah, it's like I can name so many examples that have happened just within the past like 9 years that demonstrate a double standard and institutionalized racism, that what you're saying is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, and what Toyota was found out that they were charging non-white people a higher interest rate, higher down payments and things like that when they have similar credit backgrounds and credentials to white counterparts, simply because they're not white. And Bank of America has was found with various predatory loans and charging fees and stuff to non-white people and stuff for their accounts and things like that. So there's so many examples.
Oh yes. One that came to my mind that I felt like I didn't hear a lot of people make this comparison. Yeah. But it was crazy to me because some people were saying like, oh, it was in the past, and that was before she blew up. And I was like, well, nobody's asking her to go to jail for it, because there has to be proof. There has to be some kind of proof.
I'm asking her to go to jail. She's admitting that she did these things.
Yeah, but
I'm asking her to go to jail for it. Like, if we're gonna jail people to where we don't find evidence that they did these things,
you do have a point. Bill Cosby is in jail for not even rape. Man's in jail for molestation that was not proven. Yeah. So he's got a lot of dirt on his name. But what I was saying is, at the very least, like Pepsi, y'all just gonna act like ain't nothing happened? Who else that she with? Somebody else that she's with. And it's like, she endorses you. Y'all just okay with this. But I remember a Rick Ross. And she tried to make the argument.
Oh, yeah.
She tried to make the argument like, oh, these rappers, they be out here, and they out here on the streets, and they rapping about what they did in their past life, and I had to do what I had to do, and they tried to get on me, they tried to get on me because of what I did. And then she broke the tears out. But I thought to myself, I was like, didn't Reebok take away Rick Ross' endorsement? And he said it in a song. We know them niggas lying in their songs, okay? Yeah. If they ain't lying, they embellishing it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And if they ain't doing that, well, then they stupid. But nonetheless, you can chop it up to creative license. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. So it's like when you are part of like a creative license, or like you declare creative license. It's just like Fox News, right? Fox News is the biggest example of this. So Fox News is not actually legally a news station. Like, they are a source of entertainment. So then therefore, they can say and do things that a news station such as like CNN or BBC News or somebody like that would not be able to do or say, because legally they are an entertainment source. But they structure the information that they want to get across as news.
Indeed.
So it's actually really messed up, because it allows them to basically legally lie about things, and there's like nothing anyone can really do about it, because if you look them up legally, they are not a news source. So dirty draws, I agree with you. Like, if she's gonna admit to doing that stuff, then she needs to go to prison. Like, I don't care if she's famous or not. Like, she needs to go to prison.
Now, I will say this: the only reason I would not go that far is not. See, my thing is, I don't think you should prosecute people without proof. It's my thing. So I think that you bring Bill Cosby back up out the jail till you find some proof. I wouldn't have her go to jail for saying she did some shit, because then you make a precedence for things where you can't tell if somebody's joking. If I was just say, oh, you know what? I killed that fool yesterday. Oh, ain't no proof I killed them. But just because I said I killed them and somebody recorded it.
Well, I mean, things like that is like you can check things like that. So if you were talking and said you killed somebody yesterday, well, then you could investigate that. Is said person that you killed still alive? Yes. Obviously, you did not do that, because we can prove that didn't happen. But if she's admitting this stuff, and then supposedly there's victims that came out and said like, yep, and that happened to me when she did this. Now they could possibly be lying, because she's rich. They could be trying to get over on her, whatever. Like, that could definitely happen. And there's definitely flaws to this. Yes. But if that actually happened, and she's admitting that happened, and then somebody's coming out and like, yep, and it happened to me, and then they give a credible story, and there's like credible evidence and stuff to that happen, to that happening, then she needs to go to jail.
No,
Hands
but see,
down.
you're asking for what our judicial system is supposed to already be.
Mm-hmm.
You're asking for how it's supposed to already work. I'm not even going that far, just because I feel like that just leads to a whole lot of other things where it's going to start getting into the way of freedom of speech. I do think, though, that at the very least, if she's not going to go to jail, if they're not going to even attempt to investigate, you know, with her, somebody of her caliber, if you're going to be able to find a paper trail. It's not like, you know, Sim said it. You know what I'm saying? Who's going to follow Sims around? We know all he did is killing his couch. Okay, he's laying down and killing his spine. You know, he's not even going to be able to walk in like 30 years. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, you know, outside of that, it's kind of like, if you are going to go and they try to compare it, like they said, oh, you're going to compare these rappers, they're out here, they're doing this, that, and the third. But those rappers are on music. And if they say something like, he suggested that he raped a girl. I mean, of course, we can put two and two together. Essentially, that's what happened. He dropped Molly in her drink. She ain't even know it. Apparently took her home and beat her down. But he didn't even distinctly say that's what he did. He just said she ain't know it. You know what I'm saying? He could have dropped a flower in her drink as well, and she might not have known. He might have picked them back out. We didn't get that far into it. It didn't matter. They snatched them endorsements immediately. The outrage was high. No. I remember that probably more than I remember anything else, but I just thought it was so crazy. I was like, man, they talk about killing people in songs all the time. You're going to take a nigga's endorsement away? This same dude who talked about pushing cocaine across the Atlantic. This nigga probably never been to Europe. You know what I'm saying? But talking about pushing cocaine across the Atlantic, talking about killing folks, and y'all taking endorsements away because he drugged somebody? What you like he's doing all the fucking drugs?
Well, I mean, but there are artists where they've done that. Didn't they do that to Bobby Shmurda? To where like they
went and got his ass
based off of his music, like they went and found out that like he actually did some of this stuff, and then they ended up arresting him, and he's in jail now, right?
Which goes further to my point. If she is on a non-coerced, there was no incentive for her to go that far and make that
because
statement.
she did this in an interview, like this wasn't
not
like
even not. She was on fucking live stream. It's like me cranking up my phone, like, yo, y'all, I'm out here at goddamn Buffalo Wild Wings. I've been dropping pills in bitches' drinks, and I'm fucking them tonight, you know. And then all of a sudden, you know, THT gets big as the NFL, and then they want to come after me because, you know, oh man, you know what, dog? Man, I was just playing, man. You know, she didn't even say she was playing. She lived in it. She lived in the truth.
Yeah, and then she said that, you know, literally like, oh well, you know, I did that because I did what I had to do.
Had to do it.
And I was like,
had to be done.
Whoa.
I mean, at the very least, you need to get her endorsements pulled. You know, maybe you don't need to cancel everything she do because everybody does crazy shit.
That's up to the company. Like, I mean, there's no real law saying who you can and cannot endorse. It's like, you know, that's just completely up to the company. So I mean, if the company feels that their image can, you know, withstand that or will benefit from it, even though that will never happen, but it benefit from it, then you know they can endorse whoever they want.
And that goes back to the double standard, because this shouldn't even be a conversation.
No, it really shouldn't.
But because the outrage is not there in a way that it should be, yeah, those companies are not going to feel the heat because nobody thinks it's a big deal.
Well, yeah, and then like people think it's a big deal. One example. So since you brought it up, let's bring up football. Let's bring up the NFL. So you can get suspended by the league, you know, if they feel that you're doing something that, you know, is tarnishing their brand or something like that. Even if what you supposedly did was not proven or you were exonerated or something like that legally, then you can still get Big Willie Isms, subscribe to tier 1.
All right.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Big Willie Ism, appreciate it, fam.
Appreciate it. Definitely. But see, going back to what I was talking about with football players, so like even if you're exonerated legally, like, you know, you get your charges dropped or whatever like that.
Leave your ass right there on the side.
Yeah, they will suspend you because if if they think that you're going to tarnish their brand, in any kind of way, then
Got to get your ass up out of there.
yeah, which is messed up in that aspect because that's also your livelihood. So it's a little bit different from like just getting endorsed by a company. Whereas like this is the job that I go to, and I perform my duties like as a football player. Now I can't do that and get paid because something happened that like I wasn't legally responsible for, but you feel that I'm going to give you a bad image, and then thus I can't get paid at my job, and like that kind of stuff is kind of weird. Like if that happened, like on a non-sports entertainment job, then like that would be illegal because you wouldn't be liable for anything legally. So telling me that like I'm suspended because you feel that I'm going to tarnish your brand doesn't make any sense. But in certain states, like in Georgia, I think you could just do that because the right to work states.
In Georgia, they could fire you for anything here in Georgia, man. I remember one time I changed my blinds, got fired. They said, "Hey man, I drove by your house. The blinds look atrocious, bro. We can't have you working for us no more." You know what I'm saying? I had to become an electrician after that, bro. I used to deliver pizza.
Right.
They said, no, if people look at blinds like those, brother, they'll see right past the bullshit pizza that we selling them. Can't have that kind of shit around here. Kicked me right up off the force. You know what I'm saying? Right up out the work first. Right. Got me up out of there. That's when I met Sims. Fucking Sims. What's up, Tim?
Yeah, but it's just, it's an interesting dynamic, and one that I feel is becoming a toxic dynamic, so far as not holding people like Cardi B accountable. Like, as I said, we're going to hold people like Bill Cosby accountable, which, my personal opinion, I think he probably did it. There's no other reason to own those drugs other than to do that. But if we're going to have a legal system, we don't have a justice system. Like, if we're going to have a legal system that, is saying that we're going to prosecute people based on this type of behavior, this type of dynamic, of this thing right here, then we have to be able to spread that as evenly across everyone as possible. And I don't feel that that is the case with this. And I think that women, particularly in the Me Too movement, are mostly the ones to blame for it. Because if you're going to be as vocal about Bill Cosby and people like that, then we need the same energy for people like this, because it's still not right. And I understand that the treatment historically between women and men, particularly non-white women and men, has been drastically different for so many decades. If we're going to move to that point, then...
Thanks for that subscription, Chop.
Hey, Chop, what's up? Thanks for the subscription. We need to move towards being able to hold everyone accountable. And I'm actually still upset with the same dynamic we're talking about Bill Cosby in relation to Harvey Weinstein. So like,
oh yeah, how he's
essentially skated so far.
Yeah, I mean, his trial going on, but you never hear nothing about it. Mm-hmm. They just tried to bring your boy Michael Jackson down to derail away from this man's wrongdoings. Shout out to Oprah being a goddamn heathen. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that was one of the things that really I've been hearing a whole lot about. Been doing a little bit of research on. These two fools definitely lying like a motherfucker. It's ridiculous, and somehow the media gets behind that, but doesn't seem to have nothing to say about Harvey Weinstein. That jump came for like a week. And ain't heard nothing else about it. Yeah, and I really don't like that. And I don't like conspiracy theories, although I think some of them really hold water, and particularly the one with Cosby, because it's like, okay, the stuff with Weinstein has a ton of people speaking out about how he raped and sexually assaulted these women in Hollywood, right? Mm-hmm. Cosby was about to make a big move to try to buy out, I think it was NBC? Yeah, NBC. So he was going to buy out a major
television network. And then when that happened, suddenly the people from decades past immediately come out. As soon as that deal was about to go down, they're like, he did all this stuff to me. I can't stay silent any longer, blah, blah, blah. And it is completely possible that it happened. I'm not saying that it did not. But the timing and the media spectacle and everything like that instantly shifted off of Weinstein. And Cosby was the center. That's all you heard about. His trial was televised, all you heard about. And yeah, fine. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, that's exactly what I'm saying. They're highlighting black celebrities.
Almost moving to make the black man the face of adverse perversion.
Yeah. Which is the same thing that was done in the past before with like, there were like signs and like flyers and stuff made about how dangerous black men were to white women and like all this stuff like that. I mean, it's the same thing that was done in the past, well, during Jim Crow and during segregation, everything like that. As much as I don't like that man, Robert Kelly, as much as I don't like him,
I mean, if you're gonna get him, why ain't they focused on your boy Weinstein?
Yeah, so it's like if you're gonna get him, and he's already gone to court one time and was exonerated, and multiple women have been
shout out to Robert.
Please no. And
Robert was doing a show the other day though.
Stop.
Whoa, what was that? That's one.
Oh, okay. And so like, all right, so as much as I don't like Robert Kelly, when you watch everything that's involved with him and you read about everything that's involved with him, a lot of the women that he supposedly did this stuff to are speaking out saying that like, I'm with him, I'm with him of my own volition. Yeah. And so
you saw the documentary. All of them were our age, except for Leah. But
and so it's as creepy and as horrible of a person as I think this guy is. It seems difficult to prosecute.
Fix your mouth to say it. Fix your mouth to say it. Free him!
Oh, man. Like, it seems...
He's going to have you on the documentary next.
All right. Like, it seems difficult to prosecute him based on the stuff that's seen. Now, I obviously don't know everything that's going on in the case. I obviously don't know all the evidence that they may have. But if they're going off of this stuff, like with the documentary and like all this stuff, and like, the accounts of the women and things like that, he might not get prosecuted. Like, he might get exonerated and he might just leave. And fine. When I saw that case, I immediately was like, oh boy, here we go. There's going to be some outrage.
You know what it reminded me of? Them, the DC sniper.
Oh, yeah.
But they ain't like that shit, really. That nigga was racking up all the Halo points. Got them bing, bing,
headshots.
Bing. Headshots out the trunk. You know what I'm saying? Just getting them up out of there.
Yeah. And the DC sniper thing actually brought credence to a lot of people that were like, because, okay, when you look at mass murderers and serial killers in America, they're almost overwhelmingly middle-aged white males that are college educated. Like, those are generally who does these kind of things. Like, so when the DC sniper thing happened, it brought a credence to a lot of racist people that came out of the woodwork. Just like, how violent black people are, blah, blah, blah. Like, these are the people we need to be afraid of. When in reality, if you're going off of statistics in America, the people we need to be scared of are middle-aged white men. But it's the same thing that's going on with, like, Muslim terrorists and stuff now. And so, like, everybody's like, oh, these Muslim terrorists, like, coming in the country. Every terrorist act, I think, or just about every terrorist act that's been done in the past, like, year or 2 years has been done by middle-aged right-wing white males. Like they identify themselves as being right-wing politically. And, like, that, like, those are, like, almost exclusively who's been doing this.
Thanks to the host, Big Willism.
So it's, I agree, Shadows. White people will never be called terrorists. We all know why, but they should, they should be in certain circumstances to where they are terrorists. But, so that's another double standard that we look at. Yeah. Is when people being labeled as terrorists or being labeled as negative things, essentially, it is much more difficult for our society in America to label white people as that negative thing than it is to label a non-white person as that negative thing.
So much easier for them to cast the blame on a demon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And going back to the Me Too movement, y'all hadn't heard of Boyce Watkins, a pretty good guy. Listen to for more financial stuff, but he be on his black shit sometimes. He was talking about the Cosby case, and you know, I was trying to wrap my head around like how the Me Too movement worked, and basically it's dynamics of power being used, you know, to benefit one, and the weaker vessel not being able to, you know, I guess, defeat it, for lack of a better term, not able to sustain themselves in the adversity. But he made a good point. He said, in the Bill Cosby case, if this happened the other way around, like, how would the media take it? Like, is there anything a black dude could do that say that a white woman raped him or molested him, touched his junk while he was asleep? Is there any possibility that the media would, no matter if he was a millionaire or if he was some average Joe, that would be of any consequence to anybody? I highly doubt
socially, no, because it's already hard to get society to believe that a man could even be raped in the first place, and then much less if you had a white woman doing that to a black male. Like, that would be very difficult to pass off socially as being like, okay, we believe this guy. Like, that probably won't happen.
Hey, so,
but real quick, Kenju, that's what I was talking about. So like, that's why I said almost overwhelmingly so. But yes, I mean, you have
it's crazy,
mass killers of various races, but particularly in America, they're almost always of a certain profile, which is a middle-aged white male that's usually college educated. Those are generally the serial killers that you have, or mass murderers that you have.
Indeed. Oh, and the real question is, so what's the power dynamic between a black dude and a white woman? Man, she got all the power, right?
Yes, actually.
Hey, man.
I mean,
cash your checks, folks. Cash your checks.
I mean, there's nothing you could really say, especially as a black man or a white woman. Like, if you try to go to a law enforcement officer and say that, like, this woman raped me, you're probably going to get laughed out of the station, which has happened to people, and like, that's when the situation gets really bad. And so, you know, not saying that this is, you know, a completely common thing that always happens, blah blah blah. Typically, it is males assaulting females, you know, but there are cases to where that happens, and so they get laughed out of.
It's so crazy that we can sit here and say that. Like, it's crazy that we can be like, yeah, it's crazy niggas out there, man. Niggas is up there more often than not.
Yeah.
People are out here, the men, various races are out here committing these type of crimes. It's easy for us to sit here and say this. It's hard for a white person to sit up here and say crazy white folks be doing more of the mass murders.
Yeah. Well,
it's amazing.
Well, that's a whole other conversation, because that has to do with like the social dynamic that white people are trying to build worldwide, you know, and everything. That was like white supremacy stuff and everything. That's like a completely different conversation.
It's true. It's true. Just the oddity. Just something I just think.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I agree with you. And we could have,
because they definitely would be the first ones to yell bootstraps and accountability.
Yeah, exactly. Like
first ones. Yeah. Bootstraps and accountability, brother. Well, I mean, it's a lot of accountability that y'all ain't taking up for, but, you know.
Yeah.
That's for next week's discussion. You know what I'm saying?
As I said, we could have a whole show just on that dynamic alone and just fill like multiple hours with that, because there's so much to the subject. Mm-hmm. But I digress. Mm-hmm. So, moving back centric to sexual assault and Cardi B, like, they were talking about it in the chat, and I 100% agree with you guys. Like, that is the main problem that has happened with with the Cosby case and why a lot of people think that it was a setup was because like none of this stuff really happened or came to surface, came to light until he tried to buy a major network. And when that happened, that's when these women all of a sudden came out. It's like, okay, I can't stay silent anymore. And then they're saying that they accepted all these payments from him, to be quiet all these years. It's like, well, why now? Did the payment stop or anything like that? And they didn't necessarily, but they just felt that like now was the time. And I think that they were, not coerced, but ignored to do it. And not to say that he's not guilty, because God, I got distracted because Breezy Kenju is saying something so ignorant that like I just have to respond to it. So, okay. I get tired of people talking about this, Mike. I get tired of people trying to bring up
the Marty hour.
Trying to bring up black interracial crime as if it is some kind of strange phenomenon or strange dynamic that doesn't happen in any other race, and it's absolutely not true.
That much is true.
Absolutely not true. Interracial crime is high in every race. You are going to kill or criminalize people that you live near, and typically people live near people that look like them, and that is especially true in some places in the United States. Crime is also linked to poverty and not to race. So with increasing economic opportunity, you will have less crime happen. The same amount of crime, if not more, happens in poor white communities as it does in poor black communities. People criminalize each other at very similar rates across races, but then people try to focus on black people killing black people as if like, oh, well, see, you guys are naturally violent and you're not trying to do anything about it, when there have been various anti-violence and anti-gun groups in all black communities for decades that have been doing what they have been trying to curb that stuff, and those crime rates in major crime areas such as Chicago and things like that are actually on a decline if you look at the numbers of people being criminalized and killed in these areas.
If I'm not mistaken, because someone had a video about this I was watching, and they brought up this one side of the stat. It's like black on black crime, 90.1%.
Yeah, it's like young black males kill like 90% of young black males. I was like, that's the same in every race.
I went on, it was somebody's YouTube channel. It's somebody I've been watching, Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, I'm used to this person being pretty objective, or at least I thought they were pretty objective. But let me go look up the statistic, because I hear it all the time, and I know that the statistic is pretty similar across the board. I went and looked up white folks. They kill each other or commit crimes towards each other at 89.7. It's like a 2% difference.
Yeah, it's like virtually the same.
Yeah, it's like, well, why did you bring up this stat when you didn't bring up this stat, which is 2 points of difference? 2% difference.
Yeah.
When you have stuff like that, then you know that is one of them talking points that is just trying to deter the situation. Just trying to deter what the spotlight is on. At the end of the day, I've heard it 1,000 times. You used to hear it a lot on the, what was that thing? The Black Lives Matter situation, where people would be like, oh, well, let's talk about this other shit. And it's like, okay, this is clearly a misdirect. When you're talking about, not necessarily just a white person killing folks, because obviously people are crazy, okay?
Yeah, people are
nuts.
There are crazy people. There are crazy and violent people of all races.
Mm-hmm. So, but when they have a specific thing that they are talking about, well, it does you better to try to listen to the problem and fix the problem than bring up other problems and not fix any of them. Because that's a conversation you could have next in line. It's like, oh, okay, let's fix this problem here, and then let's address this other problem y'all have. Let's make a lot of progress instead of making no progress and just having, not baseless arguments. There is basis in it, but really understanding, the perception in which they're feeding you that information.
No.
And also, just, it's no different than, hate to do it to them, but it's no different than like the wage gap. If somebody does not break down to you what the Pew Research is when you read it, yeah, it is very much true that there's a wage gap. Yeah. But what the wage gap entails is completely different than how they would address it to you if you don't go research it yourself and see what it is. And it's like that with stats. And that's one of the things I felt about stats my whole life is like, I don't trust statistics when you give them to me. If you ain't gonna give me the whole project, you're not giving me the whole report.
Yeah. And see, like, that's the thing. Like, you're exactly right, Mike. Like, one thing that people don't do when they look at statistics is like, when you look at just a statistic alone, you're looking at a symptom and you're not looking at causality. So you have to look at the causality as like, well, okay, so we've got these violent things happening in these neighborhoods that happen to be, all black or like all non-white. Okay, well, let's look at the causality of this. Why are you having these problems? Because there's very little economic opportunity. So for people to survive, a lot of times they criminalize each other. Mm-hmm. So that's what ends up happening. Well, why don't they have these economic opportunities? Because the United States government made it their mission, the society made it their mission to economically disenfranchise these people for decades, for hundreds of years actually, before finally in 1965 finally giving them full rights as citizens. So in one generation, people are putting the social pressure on people to make up that much ground that white people have had hundreds of years to build up wealth on, and then particularly with free labor, with slavery. That is impossible for anybody to do. So, you have to look at stuff like that. And then the argument that is going to get brought to you is like, oh, well, look at these other races. They were poor, and then they come over and have these opportunities because you're giving them the opportunities. You're not trying to economically disenfranchise them. So, like, when Asian people come over, you let them open the restaurants. You give them the loans to be able to do that kind of stuff. But if a black person wanted to open a business, it's much more difficult to get a bank to approve a loan and all of that stuff. And then for you to approve a lease or to get a lease approved from someone. So there's a lot of dynamics. And so you can't just look at base statistics and just say, well, this is all there is to it. There's so much more. And you have to look into those things in order to fully understand the argument.
I mean, and to put it into terms that we know everybody here will understand. If I told you Andy can beat me 100 times in a row, right? And that was the stats. Somebody pulled up the game data and it was like, oh yeah, he got beat 100 straight. But they don't explain to you that 100 straight was because I had one hand on the controller and I was looking out the window when I played him. You know what I'm saying? You don't get a full scope of how I got 100 straight. You don't understand why there's such a depraved what's the word? There's damn, I can't even think of the word. But basically you can't take at face value a stat like Marty said and then not put it into context. It's like putting words in a sentence out of context. Anything means anything if you don't get the full scope. Now, while we are on it, talking about black on black crime in the black community, there is an unfortunate event that has happened here recently. And
fine, yes, actually. So I do know someone else.
I know plenty of people have lost 100. I done beat a whole bunch of people.
They've actually lost to Mike that many times.
Yeah, I done beat people 149 times in a row. Shout out to my boy Fisty, got 2 t-shirts. 2 of them. You know what I'm saying? But y'all don't know about the t-shirts. But moving on to things. So that kind of ties into what else we wanted to talk about which is the Nipsey Hussle death. And I didn't really know much about Nipsey, to be honest, before he got killed. Unfortunately, sometimes it takes tragic things like that to happen in order for people to find out things like that. But it's sad that somebody like that is getting, he got killed. What are you tall as hell? Let me set the city up. There we go.
I mean, I am pretty tall. So, but yeah, it's sad to see somebody like that killed. And, when he was trying to do so much for his community, like somebody has an impact on the community when rival gangs are mourning his death, the cops were mourning his death. Like there's many cops that came out on TV and was just like, this is awful what happened to this guy. Like, he's trying to do so much for his community and it's ended up happening. And that's very rare, particularly when a black male gets killed for the cops to come out and say like this is a real tragedy, but they did that, and so
And he was a rapper.
Yeah, and he was a rapper. Yeah, so
That's a Cardinal sin.
Cardinals.
In goddamn New York, they got the hip hop squad. Boy, you come in there, you come rapping in New York. Goddamn, yo nigga, I'm goddamn whoop whoop.
Get down on the ground.
Hey man, hold up, man. I ain't even write these bars.
Yeah, right. So yeah, and it's just sad, man. Like, I was reading some today about some of the stuff he was trying to do with his community, like a lot of outreach programs. He was trying to create, just like what we were saying before, economic opportunities and proto-Rex. Exactly right. You're exactly right. Economic opportunities do wonders for communities, and that's what his goal was. That's what he was trying to do.
Indeed.
Was to create those economic opportunities within the places that, the place that he was from and the places that he frequented, and the places where he saw there were problems. And he tried to create those opportunities. And for somebody to go and kill him is just like, it's so sad. And it's one of the reasons why a lot of people, particularly black people, believe in conspiracy theories. Because a lot of people think that he was assassinated. And I think that could hold water because it's happened a lot in the past, like with various black leaders, or whenever black people start to rise and get something for themselves. One of the most classic examples, Black Wall Street. They got firebombed, and people there were killed because white people were like, oh well, you need to bootstraps, accountability, blah blah blah. So black people were like, okay, well let's start our own economic system, and we're gonna model it, something similar to what these guys are doing, but like we're gonna do it for our community
with niggas.
Yeah, and they were making a bunch of money, and so white people decided they didn't like that, and they burned everything to the ground, and they killed a bunch of people, and so. A lot of people, there's a big standing theory within these types of communities and stuff to where, like prison guards or like cops and stuff will find people that are out on parole or like going out on parole, and they'll get these people to go and assassinate people in the black community. Like that has been a long standing conspiracy theory for years. And
I feel like in this situation though, I feel like it was a nigga being a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, while there's a good chance it was, there is a possible chance it was some overlords and some foul play going on. I think it's just a nigga being a nigga. The nigga's a rapper. They got into a confrontation. A nigga who's known to be a nigga did nigga shit. I can say I'm completely not sold at all. Because I know the U.S. I know these motherfuckers do shit. These motherfuckers pulled me over for a seatbelt violation. I had my seatbelt on with two straps. You know what I'm saying? I had both of them on. Both straps was going across. And they gave me the ticket. So I know they be on the bullshit around here, dog. But I will say, the way it seems, it's like this is somebody you knew, which is normally the niggas that get you up out of here are the people that know you. Especially if there's a reason for them to be jealous. I done grew up in the hood. I done seen a lot of niggas drop down for less. Just because you had a candy bar and that nigga was hungry, and rather than ask you politely or accept that you said no because you're hungry as fuck, motherfucker just hit you across the head and take your candy bar. And if that was a fatal hit, it just happened to be a fatal hit. I've seen people lose their life over the dumbest stuff in the world. So for a man who is trying to do, push economics, got people looking up to him. Not only does he have a fine wife, not only does he got the money, not only does he have respect.
He has the fame and the respect. And
he's got, pull in the neighborhood, and then he's trying to excommunicate you from the neighborhood for being trash. And then, man, fuck, man, I'll show you who a real nigga, man. I'll show you a real nigga, you know what I'm saying? A nigga with a name like Eric Holder. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that a basketball player or some shit? A football player? I don't know.
It's the same name as the former Attorney General under Obama?
Something like that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, Obama got his people out there in the streets with the tats and shit. Now they out of office. You know what I'm saying? And now they out here, they salty. You know what I mean? They mad as fuck at your boy Nipsey. And they come through and they goddamn blop, blop, blop. And put a foot on his face before they ran off. Now that was the disrespectful part, bro.
Yeah, that's sad, man. Like, I just can't. Like, I just don't understand killing somebody like that. It could be jealousy, and it could just be something like that. You could be right about that. But there's just so many, as I said, there's so many deaths of like prominent black leaders in communities. That just happened like this. And, a lot of people write it off as like, oh, black people just see, like, they don't want to get ahead. Like, they just don't even know how to treat each other. And I just don't really buy that completely. Yes, I do think that happens in some cases where, like, just like you said, to use your words.
Niggas will nig.
Yeah, niggas will nig.
Okay.
Is a nigger being a nigger, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of instances to where I don't think that was the case either. Like, particularly like with the original Black Panther parties and like, when Fred Hampton was assassinated and like, various, I could go on and on about, these black leaders have been killed, but, and they were all killed in like similar circumstances like that. And sort of like the crabs in a barrel mentality, but the more I hear that analogy, the more I don't like it. And the reason why is because it's putting the emphasis on the crabs being the problem. The problem's the barrel. Yeah,
the barrel is they got thrown in the barrel. They just got to try to survive.
Yeah, and so it's like they're all at the bottom, like trying to survive or whatever. But if you didn't have them trapped in that barrel and they were allowed to the economic
frolic around the sea,
you wouldn't have that. You wouldn't have the crabs like pulling on each other and
they'd
stuff,
be
trying to
pulling on Ariel, trying to get them seashells up off them white titties. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, Little Mermaid reference, not bad. So it's like, I feel that we have to be kind of careful also, not to come down on you, Big Willie, like not to come down on you at all, but this is just an example. We need to become more careful of like the things that we say and the things that we go with and the things that we put out there, because it could put the emphasis on the wrong part of the problem when again, crabs in the crabs in the barrel thing, people are just like, oh well, it's what crabs, and it's like, but the problem's the barrel. Like the problem is you threw them into the barrel, like you contained them, you took away these people's economic opportunities and throw them in a barrel. So like, throw them at the bottom of society. And so that has proven true with any civilization, any race.
That's true.
Like, crime and, violent things that happening are almost always linked, actually, to economic status. And the higher economic status that you have, the less overall crime that you have. And you end up getting into like weirder crimes.
Yeah. That's what I was about to get into. That's when you bored crimes. Like, bro, I done seen every movie Marvel made before they put it out, dog. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I already got Avengers in-game tickets. You know what I'm saying? I'm living the life. I was watching that shit yesterday, bro. I ain't got nothing to do today. Let me go shoot 45 people, dog. Yeah. I ain't did that yet.
Yeah, and that's like Allison Mack from Smallville. Ooh, boy, that case is, oh boy, that you want to talk about some weird stuff like that? That was some weird, but her whole like running the sex cult or being really involved. Did you ever watch Smallville?
No, bro, I don't be watching the TV, bro.
Okay, well,
That's how you get programmed, bro. They tell your vision to be programmed. Shout out to Eddie Griffin, bro.
Yeah, but yeah, so she was running was a major part of this weird sex cult and like
on Superman.
Well, I mean, she was one of the actresses from Smallville, but like she was like running.
Okay, this was real shit.
Yes,
I thought this was like in the script.
No, like
like Superman banging out there. No, he hitting everybody in the town. Martha.
No, but like she herself, like in her life, was running a sex cult, and it's like one of the weirdest cases. And then like, kind of jumping back to the double standard thing that look at what happened with what's her name, Lori Loughlin from Full House or whatever. How like she and like a bunch of other like rich wives of celebrities got caught.
Tried to pin it on your boy Dre. Oh.
Yeah, and they got caught, paying to. Put their kids in the colleges or whatever. And these are the same people that always cry about like, we don't need affirmative action because they're
getting ahead on us.
Yeah, they're getting ahead and they're taking away opportunities from our kids that actually deserve it, when in reality, these are the people that are taking away opportunities from people that deserve spots in those colleges. And it's really messed up. But like, Hollywood is absolutely dirty and rotten to the roots. Like 100% agree with that. Like,
what up, Boosie? Glad to see
when
you
you
made it
look
home today,
at
bro.
when you look at a lot of stuff that's happening in Hollywood and the way these people live their lives and like the things that people have to do if you ever talk to somebody that like, you know, was out there in that story. Like, when you didn't think she was fine until you.
Whoa, see, you
Oh, Zach.
look at Zach, bro. Don't be on here Cardi B-ing, bro.
Oh my
In
god.
the chat too, dog.
Oh wow. That got me. That was good. That was good.
Goddamn Zach out here, bro.
But yeah, so it's like if you ever talk to somebody that's involved at all in Hollywood at all, like they have to do some of the strangest and weirdest things in order to try to get ahead. And a lot of it's like really dirty, awful shit.
Shit, you know what I gotta do to get ahead? Take her out for dinner, bro.
Boom.
Or just sweet talk her, really. Sometimes you just stand up and pull it out and put it on the table. Get the job done. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, I mean we just live in a society that is very weird and full of double standards that we need to change if we're ever going to really get ahead as a society. But I don't really ever see that happening, at least not within the next 50 to 70 years. But who knows? I mean, that maybe you know someday.
I mean, I feel like these problems have always existed. They are just more accessible, you know. So now it's like, I think it's going to be an interesting conversation to have next week on the show.
Okay.
Possibly talking about how the more we try to advance, the more problems we create for ourselves. Me and my girl were talking about it not too long ago, and we were talking about automation and how pretty much jobs were created to get away from skilled work. That led to jobs creating things that are going to create automation that is going to take away all the jobs but skilled laborers. Yeah,
and that's actually a really big issue. Like, particularly, I'm not going to go into huge depth of this because we should talk about this this next week. This is a good one. But, like, ideally, what we're supposed to do, and I know a lot of people hate her for whatever reason, but Hillary Clinton actually had a good plan with this involving coal miners. And so her whole plan was what we should do was like, okay, so this is obsolete now. Like, you're not going to have jobs here. So we're going to dedicate money at a budget to take all the people that are affected by this and we're going to retrain them into jobs that they can do currently. And then that's how we're going to get over this whole employment gap. So we're going to take you from one thing that is going to be completely automated or, you know, completely,
Did you just hit the wall?
Yeah, completely phased
hit
out.
The wall?
What? Oh, yeah, right?
Well, Marty out here showing out on y'all on the low. On the low ski.
I actually got really distracted because I saw on your followed channels, I saw Daigo and he's playing Fire Emblem Thracia 776. That's a really good game. It's a really cool game.
I don't know nothing about that shit.
And so I was like, wow, he's actually playing that. That's awesome. But okay, so you're going to take these people and you're going to get them retrained for something that's completely obsolete. And you're going to put them into a better situation or a situation to where they will be able to work. And so they won't just be completely, you know,
ass out.
Yeah, ass out on the street. You know, so I think that is, you know, a good way to do it. And that's what we should be doing ultimately. Like if corporations are going to decide that like, okay, we're going to try to automate everything, then as a society, we need to try to accommodate for that. And a lot of people are saying that with the way things are now, there might not be enough jobs to take people to. And so people are trying to come up with a, with a kind of like fixed income for people. But I won't go any further than that because I do want to talk about that next week. And so I didn't mean to go into it as much as I did, but
hey, Marty, it's okay.
Yes, that is actually what Norway does. Might let me go hunting and fishing.
Shoot, you look like somebody went scalping. But we ain't gonna get on the hairline no more, bro. You know, listen, we ain't got a lot of time left, man. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about on the Nipsey Hussle tip before we get up out of here?
No, I guess not. I guess I said pretty much everything that I wanted to say on that. Like, I kind of wish I could have gone a little bit deeper into like what he was doing and stuff, but you know, sadly, I am a little bit ignorant on the subject. I don't know fully what he was doing And so, because I haven't really followed them that long. So.
That's all right, man. Listen, we learn to celebrate people when they're gone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Accomplishments are the best when they can't accomplish nothing else. Unfortunately, it's like that.
Yeah, but
Yo, man, listen. Let me tell y'all something, man.
that hat is real nice, man.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun hat. You know what
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
saying? Check it out, tknhouseent.com. Y'all might have seen a little bit earlier in the chat, Nightbot. You scroll up a little bit, you click on that link, you can go pick up some fire gear. You can check out the THT, which we talked about earlier today. Those changes that are going to be happening, man. If y'all missed out, if you came in a little late, make sure you go back and check this out on YouTube, or you just run it back here on Twitch. And make sure if you want to get some of this fire gear, okay? tknhouseent.com. Not only can you get some of this fire, you know what I'm saying, but you can also pick up your no round brown gear there.
Oh, yeah. Straight flames.
Straight flames in the building. You know what I'm saying? Hot. You know what I mean? That's what's up, Vince. Appreciate it, fam.
Nice.
Appreciate
that, man.
Look, you helping the THT do more, be bigger. You know what I'm saying? Look, we got this shit now. You know what I'm saying? That comes from people buying shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Oh, we gonna have a fish fry once Mike catch some fish.
Yeah, I'm gonna fry them bitches up because they're gonna be on fire with these goddamn looks, man.
Look at that. Got the hoodie and the shirt. In fuego, baby. Flames.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about, man. I appreciate y'all showing support. And look, we're gonna end the show here, man. As usual, always a great time, Marty.
Oh, of course.
You know
of course. You know I enjoy being with you, Mike, doing this. So
thanks for them bits. Shout out to Launchpad with the bits earlier.
Oh,
Truth
Launchpad
coming through with the bits.
Dante, what's up, man? I didn't even see as you came in.
Shout out to all the hosts we had. Really appreciate it. Appreciate everybody coming out here, man. Having a great time. Great time, as usual. Make sure you return at 8 o'clock Friday night. The THT Season 2 will be live.
Underway.
It's underway, okay? We're going to have... It's going to be great up in here, all right? Excellent time. You might get to see the rest of True 404 here. You might get to see... you don't know who you might get to see in the building, okay? But I know one thing is you're going to see me in the building. I'm number one. I got to be here. You know what I'm saying? Half the business owner got to be here. You know what I'm saying? The other half, the real man, Lord Iceman, going to be here helping me on commentary. Probably going to see your boy Big Panther. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have all the names in here. I keep hearing the list is going to be long. Big Marty might show up.
You might see me as well.
You know what I'm saying? Probably going to see Speed
I was at the other
Kicks.
tournament. Whatever.
Oh, yeah. Bloodbath.
I was here. So.
Listen, man. It's going to be a great time. You know what I'm saying? Great time. Uncanny. Okay? Uncomparable. But until then, man, listen. Y'all be on the lookout. Check us out at tkn_house for all the information about the Tekken House, man. Also, check us out at Let's Talk Tuesdays. That's if you want to send some, you want to pitch some ideas here at Mike and Marty show.
Or
some topics.
Or we just gave you guys a topic about, displacement of workforce. So feel free to let us know what you think, about that topic as well. If you want to share any thoughts, like that, just feel free to use that Twitter account.
Yeah, and let your friends know about it, man. Tell them, listen, man, the Tekken House is wilding, but they got knowledge over there, dog.
Definitely.
Not just in the video games. You know what I'm saying? Might even teach y'all how to pick up some women one day. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I haven't really figured out is how to plant the seeds of hair, you know what I'm saying, back into the front row. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get there, though. And when I get it, my nigga Truth going to be looking like a young man again, okay? Looking like a young man. Without the hat. Shout out to everybody, man. Now, once again, big shout out to Dez, man. Sorry for that loss.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Definitely keeping you in the prayers, fam. Hopefully we get to see you out here soon, cheer you up a little bit. Having a great time out here, man. Till next time, y'all, it's been rather real. You can find somebody for the host, and peace.
See ya.